Hi Erica, thank you for meeting with us today. You can take a seat wherever you'd like. All right, let me pull up this presentation really quick and we'll begin going over the progress monitoring track that we've started for Dylan. Okay, so as you know, Dylan has a lot of strengths and he has some challenges. Some of Dylan's strengths include that he's extremely enthusiastic about learning, extremely persistent at every task at hand. He has extremely keen letter recognition, so whenever we tell him a letter, what letter is this? He can say D, O, but he does have trouble writing it sometimes out on paper. He also has awesome social skills, so he takes all of his peers' advice, he takes our advice, never unwilling to practice or do a little more additional practice. He also has very astute recall memory, so when we teach him something, he'll more than likely remember it the next day, which is awesome. Some of his challenges do include his pencil grip. He can't quite adjust his grip very well on his pencil. Also, he has trouble carrying out straight lines, writing in straight lines. So we've been working on this with him a bit, and letter placement. He sometimes will just place letters sporadically. So in order to work with this, we wanted to first, we want to go over what our daily routine looks like. Every day we start off by modeling and representation, so we want to just kind of give a visual representation of what we're going to be doing, what letters we're going to be going over, how they look, how to do them. Once this is done, we go, and this takes about 20% of the time. And then 30% of our time is dedicated to guided practice, which is where we go through these activities with them and show them how to do it, make sure we're with them side by side whenever they need assistance, make sure they're getting enough practice. Then we move on to Discovery Center group work and independent projects. These are each one takes up 25% of our time, and it's intended for them to really get a hold of these literacy components on their own. And okay, so most of the time when we do these activities, we don't necessarily grade them. We just make sure for completion and make sure students are on the right track, and then we hang them on the walls. But since we did want to develop a more intensive type progress monitoring for Dylan, we created a 4-point scale system. It goes with 1, even with help, he has difficulty understanding the task at hand. 2, somewhat understood and completed the task with some errors. 3, understood and completed the task with teacher assistance. And 4, fully understood and completed the task on his own. So we've used this scale with him, and as you'll see throughout the week, he got progressively better, minus at the end. Those last 2 assignments, sight word detective and letter sound sort, he scored a 3, whereas in the weekly letter activities he had scored a 4 prior to those. But that's normal because those activities were a little more rigorous and they required a little bit more articulation and letter coherence from him. So we did need our assistance a little bit more, but just the fact that he's at 3 and those activities is awesome right now. So that's great. His AT has also been working immensely, Dexteria, which is one of our research-based strategies. He has been using it consistently throughout the week. One of his favorite apps is the tracing app. It traces uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and numbers, and we've noticed that this is also his improvements in this app and the way he's enhanced in each level has fully demonstrated itself in his writing, because his weekly writing has also bettered as his performance in this app has. Another research-based strategy we've been using with him a lot is teaching each writing skill separately. As you know, dysgraphia comes with several different aspects, such as letter formation, articulation, pencil grip, fine motor skills. So to tackle all of these at once would be extremely overwhelming. And so we've been trying to, just do each one step at a time. A perfect example of this would be, I think it was week 5. We went over letters R and D, I believe it was. And even though Dylan was having a little bit of difficulty forming the letters and, kind of articulating them properly, we kind of wanted to focus more on the line of focus. And when doing this, Dylan was able to write the word robot, because that was the word we were practicing, beginning with R, in a perfect straight line, which was great. And then next week he was able to do the same task, and then we worked with him on our letter articulation. So this more one step at a time approach is easier for him to kind of process the information he's learning week to week. And then The other research-based strategy we used was the alphabet Q-tip activity, which was awesome. It was so much fun because it helped not only Dylan but all the students in the class with letter formation, and it helped Dylan a lot with gripping his Q-tip because it kind of reflected what he's supposed to do when holding his pencil and writing. So when tracing the letters and putting each dot, placing paint on each dot, he kind of had to figure out where he was placing the Q-tip. And so this helped a lot with both his fine motor skills and both his pencil grip, which kind of go hand in hand. But overall, Dylan has been improving significantly in the curriculum, and I only see more improvements from here on out. So thank you for joining us, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you.